Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and it's time to wrap up this week of movies that star musicians with the comedy Class Act, starring Kid and Play, Karyn Parsons, Thomas Mikal Ford, Rick Ducommun, Alyssa Rogers, Dougie Doug, Lamont Johnson, Loretta Devine, Pauly Shore, Meshach Taylor, and Rhea Perlman. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, it's Friday. We're going to close up this week of movies that star musicians with the non-house party comedy starring Kid and Play. And as our movie opens, genius high school student Duncan Pinderhughes is getting ready for graduation, but is somewhat disheartened to find out that despite his perfect SAT score and 4.0 GPA, prestigious Hafford University, a parody of Harvard, will not admit him unless he can pass phys ed. Meanwhile, ex-convict Michael Blade Brown is released from jail and is told by his parole officer that the condition of his release is a satisfactory graduation from high school. When a mishap results in their pictures being swapped on their permanent school record, Blade is surprised to find out that he is being placed into gifted courses, while Duncan is shocked to be placed in minimal classes with substandard conditions and miscreants for classmates. Now Blade realizes this right away, and he sees Duncan as his ticket out of jail permanently, since Duncan could pass his classes with ease. So he transforms Duncan into a version of himself, complete with dreadlocks, and he does his best to teach Duncan how to act like him. Having no grasp of hip-hop culture, Duncan's parents begin to worry about their son's new friend, as his father especially begins to suspect that Duncan is gay. Blade manages to smooth talk his way through his advanced classes, even successfully executing a dissertation on sexual intercourse. Duncan ends up running into trouble with a high school thug named Wedge, but he also discovers an uncanny ability to kick field goals, and as a result, he joins the school football team. Both Blade and Duncan end up with girlfriends that traditionally the other would have, with Blade smooth talking the intelligent but excitement seeking Ellen, and Duncan being pursued by the wild Demita. Meanwhile, a drug dealer named Mink is told by Wedge, an employee of his, that Blade has been stepping into his territory, and a chase involving the guys, their girlfriends, and Popsicle, one of Duncan's new buddies, ensues. The gang briefly lose Wedge and Mink as they go to a wax museum, Demita's place of work, but they are discovered by Mink and Wedge. Once there, the girlfriends realize that their men are swapped, and both guys eventually end up being dumped. Still, Duncan manages to knock out Wedge in the museum, while Blade handles Mink, but they all end up in jail. After the mix-up is corrected, Blade, Dunk, and the rest of the company are all set free. In an anti-climax, Duncan and Blade both enter a knowledge bowl in an effort to get Blade back with Ellen. They succeed when Blade is able to answer a tiebreaker question in order to win the competition by recalling a tidbit of information that Ellen once told him. Afterward, both couples end up back together. And in our final scene, Duncan's father walks in on his son having sex with Demita, which relieves his initial worries about Duncan's sexuality. Walking in each other's shoes dramatically changes the lives of both Duncan and Blade. And in the epilogue, the audience learns that Blade graduated from high school and attended Hafford University, while Duncan attended Stanford on a football scholarship, and our movie comes to its end. This one is always a fun one for me to go back to from time to time. I don't watch Class Act as religiously as I do the House Party movies, at least not House Party and House Party 2. House Party 3 I still watch more than Class Act, but it's a little bit of a closer race between those two movies. As I stated, this is the one comedy that Kid and Play did that wasn't the House Party series. Although I always kind of considered it House Party 1.5. Now, while Kid does get the braids, the dreadlocks that he has in House Party 3 in this movie, and you could then pinpoint it as maybe House Party 2.5. In House Party 2, Kid is in college, and this is still high school. So it's a thin line there, but I always kind of looked at it as House Party 1.5 because it's another adventure that happens to them in high school. They're just not playing fictionalized versions of themselves. They're playing Blade and Duncan. So it, like I said, it's a funny line to walk, but at the end of the day, it's just a fun movie. You've got Karyn Parsons, Hilary Banks from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You've got Thomas Mikal Ford, Tommy from Martin. You've got a cameo from Pauly Shore, the Weasel. You've got so much good stuff in this movie. You got Dougie Doug, either just before or just off of Cool Runnings. And Kid and Play just have that charm and that chemistry that they brought to everything they did. Kid and Play do not get the credit they deserve as hip hop icons and musicians and actors at that, 3 House Party movies and Class Act. And then they had a cameo in the 5th House Party movie, Tonight's the Night. And they even have a cameo in the new House Party reboot that LeBron James executive produced. So these guys deserve the credit that they don't get. They need to get more of it. You go back to their discography, you go back to albums like Too Hype and Funhouse and Face the Nation. You look at tracks like Too Hype, Rolling with Kid and Play, Funhouse, Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody, Toe to Toe, Make Noise from the House Party 3 soundtrack, which was kind of like a impromptu Kid and Play EP because there were like 5 or 6 new tracks from them on there and then filled out with other people. You think about the battle scene from House Party, Kid versus Play, tracks on the House Party soundtrack. These guys were just from a different era, and I wish we could kind of get back to that sometimes because Kid and Play, Christopher Reed and Martin are such underrated and underappreciated talents. And if nothing else, I hope that this review will make you go and search them out, whether you search out Class Act to watch, whether you've never seen, and so you search out House Party 2, and House Party 3 to watch, or whether you go to Spotify and you look up their Too Hype, Funhouse, and Face the Nation albums and listen to some of their stuff. About 5 years ago, the Hammer House Party came to the LA County Fair near me. And while MC Hammer was the headliner, and I definitely wanted to go see MC Hammer because that's my childhood too, Kid and Play were on the bill. They were the reasons I went to go see the concert. Yes, the concert also had En Vogue and Coolio, along with Hammer. But Kid and Play were the opening act, and they were what put my ass in that seat because I wanted to see these guys. They only got to do like 5 or 6 songs. They were the opening act, but it was worth everything that I put into going to that show to see them rock a mic live and in person. Period. These guys need more love, more credit. They need their space in the hip hop, echelon, if you will. Why they don't have stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, I don't know, because they should have one for music and movies. They even had a cartoon series based on them and a Marvel comic book run for 9 episodes. These guys were it back in the day. And because the gangsta rap era kind of pushed them out and it became uncool to talk about and be a fan of Kid and Play, they don't get remembered with the same reverency of groups like Run DMC and Public Enemy and the Beastie Boys and the Fat Boys. And they deserve their spot. When it comes to my rating of Class Act, now Class Act is not my favorite movie that they did, but I give it 4 out of 5 stars because it was damn funny and it was damn good and it's damn underappreciated and it needs people checking it out, looking for it, downloading it, whatever, buying digital copies, buying physical media copies. This movie deserves more eyes on it. So 4 out of 5 stars for me when it comes to Class Act. What do you guys think, those of you that have seen it? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, and it's new release Saturday. Now, we were supposed to be covering The Lost Weekend, a love story, a documentary about John Lennon and May Payne and their relationship that kind of occurred in the mid-70s. Unfortunately, the closest theater to my house showing this is too far away to drive to justify. So, we have replaced this movie with the Netflix original special, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Once and Always, starring Walter Jones, David Yost, Steve Cardenas, Johnny Young Bosch, Karen Ashley, Catherine Sutherland, and Charlie Kirsch. And then later on in the evening, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, it'll be time once again for the Saturday night shenanigans that are Open Mic Night. Myself, the West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham, the Simple Man Noah Foster, the He Man James Hebert will all be attendants, as well as any of our other regular panelists that choose to walk through the doors this week and step up to the microphone to engage us in professional wrestling conversation. You don't want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media. We've got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Once and Always. We've got Open Mic Night, and we've got one more full week of movies that star musicians coming up. So you don't want to miss out on any of that. So make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Open Mic Night, Stat Boy Sports Bar, pay-per-view PLE coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of Kid and Play, fans of Karyn Parsons, fans of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, fans of Thomas Mikal Ford, fans of Martin, fans of Pauly Shore, fans of Dougie Doug, anybody you can think of that would enjoy this content, this video, share it with them. It's the only way we're going to keep my visibility in YouTube's algorithms now that we are, in fact, a monetized channel. Thank you once again to everyone out there who joined me, tuned in today, and that worked hard with me to help me get to be a monetized channel. It means so much more to me than you guys will ever know. And I will see you guys next time.